16 of the Too Honest podcast with me, your host, Abby. Hi there, I hope that you are all doing okay. I recently checked the numbers up for the downloads of the podcast, and there's recently been an influx, so wherever you've come from, however you ended up here, I hope you enjoy. Everybody's welcome here, and also if you did want to follow the Instagram page at Too Honest Podcast, feel free to follow. I post when there's a new episode. I also post before the new episodes to get some answers from you guys, so if you ever want to get involved, then feel free just to follow on there. And yeah, you know, occasionally I do things that I'm like super proud of. Like the last episode I did the graphic of the Zoom call, and I was so proud of myself then. I was buzzing. Yeah, but you know, you've got to celebrate the little wins, haven't you? This episode will be released on the Tuesday after bank holiday, so I hope you're all feeling refreshed. This bank holiday weekend for me is the best, and I know I said that last time, but but this is truly one of the best bank holidays. The reason for that, for me personally, is that 1, it's payday, 2, the extra day off, yes, winner, and thirdly, the final episode of Line of Duty. I mean, is it the final episode, or is there another season? Are we finally going to find out who H is? Oh my god, I love that programme so much. Yeah, so I hope everyone's doing okay, and you know, there's been loads of stuff going on recently, not just for me personally, but for everybody. So you know, lockdown's lifted a bit more. I've got loads of plans coming up, which honestly, I can't wait. I literally cannot wait to see everybody. And yeah, the videos that have been coming up from the recent government scientific rave in Liverpool, it is giving me life, I'm not gonna lie. I really want to go out. I just want to dance. I just want to have a good time, you know? Life's too short. Yeah, so this episode is all about interviews. And the thing is, right, I hate interviews because I get so damn nervous, like you wouldn't believe. And the thing is, I know that I'm capable for... Actually, no, I know that I'm capable of all the jobs that I've ever applied for, because I would never apply for anything that I'm not capable of, because I can't deal with rejection. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, and yeah, the nerves just get the better of you, don't they? But since we're being honest here, because the podcast is called Too Honest, I really hate the upper hand that a business has in an interview. They have so many people applying for jobs that, you know, they could just dismiss you and it wouldn't impact them whatsoever, like zero. They will have paid a little bit of money for the recruitment process, and yeah, it just really grinds my gears, like that they have the upper hand, especially during like economic crisis, and you know, the economy right now needs some work. People need jobs. Yeah, I just hate that. I'm sure other people do too, but anyway, let's start with the stories of myself. And the first story comes from not an actual interview, but is about interview clothing. Okay, so picture this. I have been invited for an interview for my placement year, I think it was. So a few years ago now. And I go to M&S. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get a new outfit. I want to feel my absolute best, so I can smash this interview. I want to look smart, I just want to play the part. So anyway, I pick up a few pencil skirts, some shirts, some blazers, and go to the fitting room. When that was an actual thing and you could try clothes on in an actual shop. Holy hell, crazy. So I take them into the fitting room and I'm trying clothes on. It's all going well. Great. And yeah, I try on this pencil skirt. So pencil skirts are really tight fitted, for those who don't know, and it was a zip at the back. I don't know if I'm maybe explaining this too much, but the skirt is like quite tight past the knees, so like there's only one way in and out of the skirt is what I'm trying to say with the zip. So I get it on, it's all good, it fits perfectly, it looks so good. I'm definitely going to buy the skirt, I think, and the shirt that I was also wearing at the time. Then I go to take the skirt off. I cannot get the skirt off. I cannot undo the zip. I'm by myself. I cannot undo the zip in the fitting room. It must have got caught on something, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't leave. Like, it's also got a security tag on, so I can't just go to the counter and ask them to just scan the skirt that I'm wearing. Oh my god, absolutely mortifying. Anyway, the solution to this, quite bizarrely, is obviously struggle for at least 20 minutes. I bet the sales assistant is like, what the hell is she doing in that fitting room? But eventually I go out of the fitting room and I find the sales assistant and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I'm on my own, I can't get out of this skirt, can you please help me with the zip? Yeah, so then she is trying to help me with the zip, like, thank the Lord. The zip actually doesn't come down because I've managed to zip up the tag inside of the zip, so it's actually stuck. So in the end, she goes and calls her colleague. She's like, emergency, on the tannoy. She's like, emergency in fitting rooms, please can you come and help? In the end, they had to cut me out of the skirt. Oh my god, that's so bad. So bad. I was absolutely mortified. I did actually end up buying the skirt. Obviously not the one that I was cut out of because, what an idiot. So ever since then, actually, I have been so careful when trying on clothes with zips. Yeah, that is story number 1. I have got so many interview stories that for this episode. It's unreal. I just don't know if I should really say them all, but okay. So this story actually goes back to a story that I've already told you. It kind of relates, kinda. I think it might have been the uni story or maybe the fitness story when I did that workout class and I had the most severe DOMS I have ever had in my life. Basically, what's happened is I managed to get an interview. So if you're not from the UK, it's for Teach First, which is basically a graduate scheme to help you become a teacher. And the interview for this was the week after when I was still kind of like quite sore, or maybe it was a few days, and yeah, I was basically walking like I pooed myself, like so embarrassing. But also at this interview, so as part of the interview, you had to do a lesson plan, and then basically you had to do the lesson with adults acting as children, which is so bizarre. And the adults who were acting were there to be as disruptive as they could. Yeah, you had to just continue with the lesson. It was only meant to be like 15 minutes, I think. So I'd planned 15 minutes out really well. Actually do maths because, my favourite subject. There's that saying, isn't it? You either liked maths or you're cool. Yeah, I liked maths. I'm not cool. Yeah, so I did this lesson and honestly, I was so stressed by the end of it. I was like, teaching is definitely not for me. But it's really off-putting when an adult is pretending to be a child. Like, I just can't. I'm just not good in that situation, okay? Oh, so bad. Yeah, I hope I haven't put anyone off if anyone did want to go for that, because I think the Teach First program is a really good program from what I know and from the people I've spoken to. Hopefully this doesn't put you off. I'm an overthinker about literally everything. So the thing I overthink more about an interview is, so I'm already worried and I'm overthinking about what the actual interview entails, but it's the getting in the building that gets me. Anyway, so obviously when you get nervous, pre-interview rituals that people do, and to be honest, if you are a nervous person, I've mentioned this before on an episode when you get nervous and you just need to do a poo. A pre-interview poo. You just got to get it all out your system. Oh my god. There was actually one time I went into an interview and I felt so ill. So as part of the interview process, you had to go in and they made you sit a test before you did the interview. And yeah. And during the test, which was on my own, I was like, I feel quite ill. I kind of need to leave, but should I just do the interview? It might just be nerves, it might just pass. Like, what's the etiquette there? And during the interview, I was like, I'm really sorry, but I need to leave. I feel so ill. They did actually call me back as well. They were like, you passed the test with flying colours, so you do reschedule the interview. Yeah, that was not a good day. I was in fact ill. Crazy. There's also the after part of the interview when I go out and I just think about everything I could have said or I should have said. And also, I don't know why this happens to me, but in interviews, I seem to hone in on one word. And afterwards, I'm like, I overused that word. I'm trying to think now of like the word I would have used. Firstly, one of them will be like, so you think these episodes have a lot of likes in? Like, I actually cut a lot of them out, which is so bad. I don't understand how I'm supposed to speak in sentences without the word like. Send help. I've actually tried loads of techniques to try and cut out the word like. With like, I can't stop saying it now. It's so frustrating. Anyway, we will move on to my Cheer Up Tuesday recommendations. And since it's the interview episode, I have got a couple. Well, the first one is I read The Money Diaries, which is by Refinery29. I am nosy. So basically, someone with a job tells you how much they earn and what their outgoings are for their average week. And yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, it's anonymous. Like, I actually love it. It's so interesting. And sometimes I'm like, wow, they deserve so much more money. They're based all over in the UK, the people who write the stories. And yeah, they're just genuinely really interesting reads. Super, super insightful. And the second, originally I found them on TikTok, but they are what's the word? A business called Onsulting. I think I'm saying that right, Onsulting. And they have interviews, CV, cover letter tips, And they've helped so many people from what I can see, and they always give the best free tips. They've got free templates on their website, and I know that I think they are based in America, I think. They just give out really good tips. I'm not even looking for a job right now, but if I was, I would definitely use their tips. And that's my Cheer Up Tuesday recommendations. I hope you go and check them out and let me know what you think if you do. I'm genuinely intrigued if anyone ever follows or does anything with the Cheer Up Tuesday recommendations. Like, I still genuinely do those bar classes that I recommended the other week, and they are killer. Her playlist is fire. I listen to all of the podcasts that I've recommended on the reg. Some of them are taking breaks, or some of them have actually finished now. But yeah, do go check out the recommendations that I've made. Now it's time for your stories. So I asked a few people my questions this week. What bothers them about interviews, like just all things interviews, if funny things have happened, etc, etc. And someone came back to me with, what is it with those questions that they ask that are not relevant to the job whatsoever? They're just so random. What type of coffee would you be and why? Like, what is the point in that? That was genuinely on an application form for a coffee shop, very well-known coffee shop. And I'm always like, what? I'm quite random with my questions. It takes me so long to think of something. And the thing is, you have to make it relevant to the corporate world or the world that you are interviewing for. Is it just to see your personality? Like, I genuinely just don't know. Do they judge you hard on, if you chose a latte? I just don't know. And also, it's the questions for me, like, for an example is, how many golf balls would fit in a school bus? And I know the reason why they ask it. They want your thought process of like how big a golf ball is, the process of how you would work it out. But then it kind of gets me thinking, like, how many golf balls would fit in a bus? I bet this question throws so many people off, and they just say like a random number. Just like, well, I know at least 100 would fit in there. God, I hate interviews. Yes, so some of the stories are hilarious. So this one, halfway through, I managed to get a ring stuck on my necklace because I was fiddling, and had to sit through the rest of the interview with my hand stuck to my neck. It wasn't too bad until one of the interviewers tried to shake my hand at the end. That's funny. That is funny. I was in such a rush when I left the house that I wasn't focused on what I was doing. I got to the interview, and whilst I was waiting for the interviewer, I realised I was wearing odd shoes. Oh my god, I could not focus if I had realised. The confidence you would have to go through with that, I would be so mortified, I think. I was interviewing a candidate when she told me she had forgotten to lock her car and asked for her permission to go check on it. I said yes. She left and never came back or answered my calls. Wow. How can they get put off in the beginning? Maybe she was just feeling ill and embarrassed. Maybe. So this one's from a recruiter. I've had people send me so many random things via our job application form, from phone bills to their entire university thesis. And that is why we double check what we are attaching. Yes, correct. I was asked about my relationship status, when I plan to get married, when I plan to have kids. "Oh, but you're 30, so I imagine soon how I will manage work and home when this happens." It was awkward and terrible, especially coming from a woman interviewer who had a family of her own. Wow. Wow. Guys, we're in 2021. Like, please tell me this is a really old story. No, absolutely not. It is unacceptable to ask a woman about her family plans. Like, no, I totally disagree with this. I didn't realise it was a video interview, and just before I realised, I was actually wearing a dressing gown. If that happened to me, which it never would because I reread things about 100 times, like I said, I'm an overthinker. But if that ever happened to me, I would just pretend I had IT issues. Be like, nope, sorry. An applicant had aced the interview by giving perfect answers and oozing just the right amount of confidence. She shook hands of the interviewing panel while making effective eye contact, stood up and turned to walk out, straight through the glass door, shattering it into tiny pieces. That is definitely one way to make exit. Wow, what an impression. I mean, at least they had a lasting impression, let's be honest. So for the next segment, for those people, if you are new, I find reviews online that are genuine reviews. People are so honest on the internet when it's anonymous. Like, what? To keep with the theme of this week, I have found some Glassdoor interviews. I genuinely love Glassdoor. Pre-interview, whilst I'm applying for the job, to scope out the company, I live for that. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. Here is one that I found earlier. I sound like I'm on Blue Peter. So jealous of all those people who got Blue Peter badges. The subject of this review is, it's rated 1 star and it says, "Horrible, the place is filled to the brim with nut jobs." So when people review either interview processes or like the actual company itself, they do like a pros and cons list. So the pros, not surprisingly, say few and far between. Frankly, can't think of any. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. The cons of this company say cult-like leader and followers, senior management just riding out vesting, major politics, hard to get anything done, nut jobs at the helm with little to no experience leading, ranks filled with B players who think they are A players. A players go to Google. Wow, the sass. Sometimes I read these and it really puts me off, so like, fair play. Fair play. But then, obviously, you get like really bad reviews and companies must be like, "Oh, I know what's a great idea. We'll just get someone. We'll just make up a few accounts and like put more positive ones on there." But this one, there's no way that someone has written this that didn't work for the company at the time, if that makes sense, because I don't understand why anyone who would write this would ever leave a company. The title for this is "A Shining Beacon." Please, what a catfish. What a catfish. As a recent graduate of university and a local, this company gave me a significant start in my dream career right on my doorstep. They are not only a fantastic company to work for, but a great community of passionate and caring people. Within the first 2 months of my job, I have been to Malta and attended an array of great socials and team building events which other companies simply would not offer. If that doesn't scream fake, I don't know what does. Like, person, if you did write this, then why did you leave? Tell me, why did you leave? It was a review of someone who had left because it said former employee. That's why I'm questioning it, you know? Yeah, so thanks for listening to today's episode of Too Honest. I really appreciate you guys listening and contacting me when you've listened to episodes. Honestly, it makes me so happy. I cannot believe how quickly this comes around, especially now, like, you know, now I've kind of got a life. Now I'm doing things. I will stop rambling now and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I haven't thought about what the episode's going to be on, but I'll be sure to let you know on Instagram. So, yeah, follow us. Okay, bye. Bye.